On this edition of Native Report, we attend a Veterans Memorial dedication in Lac Courte Oreilles. We travel to the Red Lake Nation to meet the Schimmel sisters. And we interview actor Chaske Spencer. We also learn something new about Indian country and hear from our elders on this Native Report.
Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux Community and the Blandin Foundation.
Welcome to Native Report. I'm Stacy Thunder. Military veterans are highly revered as warriors in Native culture. During a recent Veterans Day celebration, the Lac Courte Oreilles Band of Ojibwe dedicated a memorial honoring our men and women who proudly served their country.
Veterans Day on the Lac Courte Oreilles Nation is always celebrated with their annual powwow, but this day is made even more special with the dedication of their Veterans Memorial.
On behalf of the people of Lac Courte Oreilles, I want to thank all of our veterans and their families for their tremendous sacrifices in the protection of our freedoms at home and abroad.
The Veterans Memorial that we dedicated today was just a plan last year, about August of last year. And we went to the Mdewakanton Sioux tribe and got a grant. Then our tribal chairman, Gordon Thayer, asked for a grant. We received it. And from there, the concept of this memorial that we dedicated today was born. But on that corner has always been a key area for Lac Courte Oreilles when our vacationers come through, or tribal members, or visiting tribes. It's the junction of K and E, where it branches off. And the idea was how can we make that corner stand out from the rest of the area? And that was the ideal spot. So during Vietnam, the first soldier killed in the Vietnam War from Sawyer County was a young man by the name of Lawrence Butler. And at some point, we might want to dedicate that area to his memory, but we have to get concurrence among the people here on the reserve to do that.
Honor and remembrance is symbolized through the drum. Vice Chairman Barber and Elder Louis White sit on the soldier's drum and also with the Badger Singers.
When I retired out of the military in 1996, I came home, and at that time, Stoney Larson, lead singer of the Badger drum and also lead singer on the Soldier's drum, asked me to sit on the drum. And of course I accepted, and a big responsibility to carry on the traditions of this drum. And this drum originated in World War I, back in 1917. A young lady back then had a dream. And I believe her Indian name was Nijo Gizugukwe, out of the Wolf clan, Wolf family. They had a dream and said that we had to make this drum because when our soldiers return, we want to honor them.
I've been singing with drum for a number of years. We've been together. I also sing with the Badger Singers, which has a number of singers that sing with the soldier's drum. We've been involved since the beginning of the Veterans Powwow, which is probably our 38th annual powwow. I was with a couple of other veterans. I'm not a veteran myself, but I remember talking with these individuals, and they were talking about honoring the veterans of Lac Courte Oreilles, and that's how we started out.
Initially, it was to revive the 49 song, which remembers the 50 warriors who went to war and the one who did not come back.
According to the story, they sent 50 warriors overseas to battle in the war. I think it was World War I, and one didn't make it back over here, and that was kind of the 49 song, and they wanted to honor that one that perished in battle and overseas, and then also honor the 49 soldiers that came back. In our language, the drum is day wagon. In our language, day in our language means heart, and wagon, according to the older people, they said heart sounding. So in my own feeling is that the drum is the word itself in Ojibwe is an animate word, meaning it's alive, and we respect that because of we call what we our manidug, our spirits, and the drum has a spirit, and so that's why we hold that special. And this, when our drums come through dreams like that from our people, and we were instructed by the Creator to put those drums together like that, and that's the way the soldier drum came to be, as a result of a dream.
Anyone that sits at a drum, as long as we've been together, the Badger Singer has been around way back in the late 60s on up to the present day. Lewis White and Stoney and Bill Cadotte, Jim Miller, but it's camaraderie. And we have a lot of veterans that sit on the drum. But, oh gosh, the responsibility is to sound good, make that drum sound good, so that people want to get up and dance, you know, and feel good.
There's another responsibility, and that is to the younger generation.
That's why one of the reasons why I work at the school here is to influence at least 10 students, and hopefully maybe one or two will take the ball and sing and carry on what I know. I've been singing a long time, and I know a lot of songs, and I'm a student yet of music, our own music here at Lac Courte Oreilles, as well as other tribes too, because we do share and help other people with our songs. So this powwow is special. I was here at the beginning, and a lot of the people that formed it have passed on, and I'd like to see it carried on by our young people, and hopefully that we do that in remembering those, our elders and our ancestors.
Did you know that American Indian veterans are an important part of the culture of almost all Indian tribes? Many large tribal ceremonies begin with tribal flag bearers. These American Indian military veterans carry the flags of Indian tribes, the United States, and the POW MIA flags. Many ceremonies of the Anishinaabe cannot be carried out without veterans, who are referred to in Ojibwe as Ogichida. American Indians have fought with valor in every war since the inception of the United States. Somewhere between 9,000 and 12,000 American Indians fought in World War I. The irony of this was that most of the Indians fighting in World War I were not citizens of the United States. Because of the service of these Indians in World War I, all American Indians were made citizens of the U.S. by law in 1924.
Jude and Shoni Schimmel are the point guards whose basketball skills helped drive the University of Louisville to a national championship. While the run ended in the title game, the sisters have been busy since with speaking engagements across Indian country. The pair recently brought their inspirational message in a basketball clinic to the Red Lake High School gymnasium.
It's about 349 Division I programs.
After a month of anticipation, basketball fans of all ages welcomed Jude and Shoni Schimmel to the Red Lake High School gymnasium. The sisters, point guards on Louisville's women's team, are a popular draw across Indian country.
Well, everybody has a basketball story in Indian country, and it means a lot to every community to see young people achieving their dreams and not abandoning that. And the Schimmel sisters are another example of Indian country and what young people can aspire to be. So they were gracious enough to come to our community. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to the parents and especially the youth. And to encourage our young people to go to the next level of education. That's what it's all about. Basketball is the hook. Everybody loves it. The First Nations of Canada, it's hockey country. Here in Minnesota, we live in a hockey state, but we're a basketball town. And so you go all of the reses across Indian country, you'll see the same thing. They're just a tremendous inspiration, and it's touched the hearts of Indian country, so we really feel honored to have them come here to the Red Lake Nation.
Thank you for having us out here. We're excited to be here, grateful to be here, and obviously it took us a few years, but everything happens for a reason. Being at Louisville, it's just, it's a great experience. I'm actually just getting ready to start my senior year, so it's been a great 4 years, and just being able to play basketball and enjoy it at the same time, it's been a lot of fun. Every time we'd win, just running off the court, hugging my sister at the end of the game. Not many people get to do that, to have their sibling in D1 basketball and just to be able to have them right there with you and enjoy that moment with you on the court, and so it's pretty special.
Our years on the reservation were the best times of our lives, so we cherish it a lot, and I think there's just a lot of basketball on the reservation, and then our family, everyone was involved with it, so really it's always just been a family thing. I think it obviously started with my parents. They're both very athletic, and they both played sports, ever since they were little. And then it kind of just went down the line. I mean, my older brother, and then my older sister, and then me, and then we have 5 younger siblings. And it's always, we're always playing, family basketball games or family football games and all that. So sports are kind of just a big part of our life.
And this is a true family effort. Mom and Dad are coaches, but they are parents first.
We initially started out just doing our own thing, and the kids started, we never pushed our kids into anything. And they basically made the choices that they made. But when they got to the point where they were making their choices and wanted to play more basketball or more softball, whatever it be, that's where as parents, you need to basically sacrifice, the time and the patience and the energy and the money into your kids, and it's a lot of work, and it's called being a parent, and it's really, really tough at times, but it pays off in the end. When your child learns things or gets education or, becomes this well-rounded person, it really pays off.
We translate things back to life. As parents, if we had to quit as parents, because we lost a game, or as, our kids, that moment didn't have fun, and just said, okay, you don't have to do that, then, you kind of quit ever getting to the end result. I said, and it's something that, as a family, we've been through hard times, and we've, dealt with things, and, for the girls, they're an inspiration to us, but they're an inspiration to a culture in the same way, is that it's fun to watch them play. It makes that day a better day when they're out there, win or lose. I said it's just exciting to see what they are capable of doing.
The sisters grew up playing res ball, and they know the same is true for many young people across Indian country.
Res ball is just, going out there and playing basketball, it doesn't have X's and O's, you just go out there and play your style of game. I mean, regardless of what kind of game you have, you just go out there and flow with the people you're playing with or even against, Over the past few years, we've definitely gone to more and more reservations, talking to reservations and whatnot, and so, we've been doing it for the past 3 years, I think, or something like that. It's grown over the years, but, to be a role model is just, it keeps me going every day, to know that little Native Americans are looking up to me, the Indian people are looking up to me, and so it gives me a lot of, juice to go out there and continue to keep doing what I'm doing.
There's an encouragement, there's that inspiration to bring kids to the next level, whatever, and bring people to a kind of a point of happiness. And, Native culture has been through a lot. We want to give back to things that, and make a difference.
After the presentation, it was time for autographs and photo opportunities with fans. The line stretched the length of the gym.
Shoni and I, we're very normal, just as normal as anyone that comes up to us and asks us those questions. But my biggest thing is just don't give up. I mean, there's always going to be ups and downs, but at the end of the day, you have to remember what you really want. I always tell people, balance is a huge part of life. If you don't have a balance, it won't work out. But I've thought grades have been important ever since I was probably in the 6th grade. So I can't stress how much grades are important. After basketball, after college, you're going to need your grades to get a job and all that kind of stuff. So I think the balance part is just, you have to understand what's important at the time. And, if that means you can't go out with your friends, that means you can't go out with your friends. So it's, you have to know your priorities.
My main advice to people out there on the reservation is just, go out there and strive to be the best you can be and go out there and make it in the world, I mean, you can do anything you want, just put your mind to it, The res is always going to be there, you can always come back, it's always going to be home, but, go out there and see the world.
Always talk to your kids, talk to them about the good and the bad, and the ugly, because there is such a thing. Because I know a lot of times Indians like to just, be around Indians, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, our kids need to go off and get their educations. They need to go off and go see the world, just because as a young kid, life goes by so quick, and enjoy it, and that's kind of what, through my kids, they're kind of learning and teaching everybody else that yes, we can do this and still have reservation life.
There are 4 circles around that drum. The first circle around that is the drum itself. And the next circle is the men. The men bring life to that drum. The next, and how the men are around that drum is going to be how that feeling will go out to the people. And then the next circle is the women. And the women will sing and have their own circle in our lives, in our societies, and they too will have their own circle. And when they sing, they will add to the song, add more life to the circle, and even hold that tune just a little bit longer, like they do in our societies. They hold our, they're our culture keepers. So they would do that with their music too. And the last circle around the drum is a circle of the people, So those first 4 circles would be around every time they use the drum and bring life to that.
Actor Chaske Spencer is best known for his role as Sam Yulee in the Twilight Saga. Lately, however, he's been cast in several independent films. I sat down with Chaske to learn more about his career, why he became an actor, and his future projects. Right after a Q&A session at the Native American Literature Symposium at Mystic Lake Casino, Chaske Spencer sat down with me to answer a few questions of my own. What inspired you into acting?
Money. I make no bones about it. When I was a kid, I was either going to be a musician or something in the arts, something that was really. I like what Richard Burton said, and I read this biography of him, and when they asked him about being an actor, and he was with all these theater snobs, and he's like, "Oh, I want to inspire, I want to change the world." He goes, "No, I want to make a load of money," and that's what I thought when I was a kid. I thought that looks like an easy job. I don't have to grow up. And being 21 at the time was like, the girls are great, the lifestyle's awesome. Little did I know that when I arrived to New York, I've learned the process to respect the craft, and growing and learning as an actor. It's a whole different, I don't know if I could have done anything else.
Even though Chaske is best known for his role in the Twilight Saga, he was at the symposium to promote an independent film, Winter in the Blood.
Winter in the Blood, it was based on a James Welch novel. It's an adaptation from the book to the film. And for me, the way I looked at it was it was a man's journey. There were crossroads in his life, and he had to make some decisions on where he was going to go. And it's just the movie takes place for like a few days of this transition, and it's directed by Alex and Andrew Smith, who did a movie called The Slaughter Rule. They're wonderful directors, wonderful people to work with. It was one of those films that I'd been waiting to just find a role like this to do. I really wanted to. I just want to see how far I could, what I could do actually. I didn't know if I could do this movie or not, but I wanted to see. And I read the book, and I think it was just the character that drew me in. And plus, seeing their previous work, the Smith Boys, was that was the deal sealer.
How did you prepare for the role?
It's a process. That's the thing about acting for me is I never know what lays ahead when you do this character work. You just sort of you learn as you go, and as you involve yourself in this character and try to bring these aspects and try to find a correlation between the character and you discover a lot of stuff. And I think that's one of the many reasons I like acting. It's a discovery. And so when you're doing a character like Virgil, you discover so many other aspects of human beings. And that's what I like about acting. It's like being a journalist for human behavior. And I'd been attached to this for 2 years. So it gave me plenty of time to think about it. I kept it pretty simple. Well, I was in between 2 other films, and I knew that I couldn't be fit for the role. He had to look like he was a drinker. So I stopped working out. I ate everything I could, and I bloated up, so I can get that drinking characteristic, the physical side, and that helped out a lot, because I'd been on a training circuit for a while. And when I stopped working out, it just does something to you mentally. And then from there on, I just kept it going. It's funny is that I'm not really one of those guys to really be in character 24/7.
What do you hope people will take from the film?
I hope people can take out of the film that they can relate to the character. Because I don't think it's just about a Native guy. I don't think it's just about this Native American man in this circumstance. I think it's universal. Everyone's gone through things in their life where they've had to make a change at some point, whether it's the stakes are high, or stakes are high with everyone's life. But I hope that they take the knowledge of someone going through this. It's one of those films that just hits you, and it takes a few days to you think about it. Those are some of the best movies I've seen where I don't really know what to think about it. And in the days of processing it, I find out that it was a really good movie. It had me thinking for a couple days. Those are the films that I hope it's one of those movies.
Why do you think it's important for Native people to tell our stories through film?
Well, we're not really represented very well in mainstream media. I get the question of why aren't there more Natives doing work? Why aren't there? And I can only speak to my own journey. Is that as a Native American actor, there's only so many roles I'm offered. I've gone out for other stuff, but it's as much as you want to say people are open-minded, some people are not, and so you have to struggle with that. I didn't want to be just this Native actor who grew his hair long and just showed up on set. If you're going to do something, you really have to go big or go home. There's some really talented people out there, and I hope they get the break. Because I'd love to work with them. I'd love to work with them and bring more Native stories out there. I don't feel like I have a job. I just feel like I've been granted this gift of just doing what I love. And I think Native kids, You don't get to see that much, and I encourage the kids to go after their dreams. You're gonna have a lot of obstacles in your way, but only you're the one to make those choices. You can't blame anybody. You make those choices, and if you make the right ones, if you're able to get up after you've been knocked down, things will be okay. You can have all that. You can be the star basketball player. You can play for the NBA or the NFL, or be an actor or a artist and make a living off it. But it's just you have to believe in yourself, and you have to make some sacrifices. If you want to do it, you can have it.
For more information about Native Report or the stories we've covered, look for us at nativereport.org and on Facebook. Thank you for spending this time with Native Report. I'm Stacy Thunder. We will see you next time.
Stacy Thunder is a member of and legal counsel for the Red Lake Nation, and Tad Johnson is a member of the Boys Fort Band of Chippewa and is chair for the American Indian Studies Department on the campus of the University of Minnesota Duluth. Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux Community and the Blandin Foundation.